A very good afternoon to everyone and a very hearty welcome to all the speakers and the attendees for this panel discussion. On behalf of Voice of Healthcare, I welcome my guest speakers for this panel discussion. What's next? Future readiness and way ahead for the Indian IVD industry. And we have Mr. Abhinav Thakur, he is the Managing Director at Accurex Biomedical Private Limited.
To pose my first question to Abhinav Thakur. In vitro diagnostics is basically the silent champion of the medical diagnosis. Now, how COVID-19 and demand of POC, the point of care, has given a boost to IVD industry. Abhinav, your take, please.
Necessity is the mother of invention. The COVID-19 pandemic has really made the point of care a new paradigm in the testing. I'll give you a simple example globally to look at how the effect of this COVID-19 has been on the point of care market. So we all know by far Roche Diagnostics has been in the market since decades, and they have been by far the market leader. So the second, third, fourth position. There was a big gap between Roche and the rest of the diagnostic players. In 2020, Roche was about $14.5 billion, and the closest competitor to them was Abbott Diagnostics at $14 billion. The reason for this change that has happened, and Roche and Abbott have almost come neck to neck, is because of point of care. Earlier, Abbott had acquired a company called Alere for over $5 billion. And at that time, people were like, is it the right decision? Are they doing the right decision or not? There was a big controversy, and they almost got out of the deal. But today, if you look at it, it has paid them, and they have almost at the neck to neck with the market leaders because of their point of care business. Because of the point of care, you've seen Abbott ID Stat is being used at the airports a lot. Right? They have the rapid home test, which have been selling all over the world, which is also available in India. So you can see the point of care market in COVID has really opened up, and people are more acceptable to it now. People are people who never even thought of testing at home earlier. Right? They bought the COVID self-test at home. We, as a company, saw that people were buying more glucometers. Earlier, our glucometer sale was lower pre-COVID, and post-COVID, it did pick up. And we saw that a lot of the patients were scared to go to the labs, ended up doing a lot of testing at home. So the entire paradigm has shifted, starting from testing at the physician's office testing, what we call. There are two types of point of care testing. One is the physician's office testing, and one is the self-testing at home. So looking at that, testing has increased in both these areas. So I think this is a new era which has started for the point of care. It has got accelerated. It's going to definitely increase, and you can see it as the overall numbers as Abbott has come neck to neck with Roche Diagnostics because of its point of care business.
That's, I think, nice to hear that, because the India probably needs multiple combinations to address our challenges. At one point of time, we require a very, very rapid testing. And if you look at and the remote areas where there is hardly any facility, and so probably the POCs will be like, which is technology driven, but doesn't require a technically skilled person to handle those, that highly skilled person to handle those tests. Of course, I think the challenge will be, I think we'll come back to you and the next question, and Fred, probably, of the panelists, what are the challenges we'll be facing and where do we see. But I think just quick question from this up. Today in the COVID, I think every house has got a small clinic within the next to the study table, because they have everything, probably, right from BP instrument, oximeter. They have some sugar, of course, glucometers already there. They have now even they have some rapid cards. People are procuring home rapid cards, getting testing at home. Where do you see the preventive screening? Will you feel that there is going to be something called a path cafes, where people just walk in and probably give a drop of blood, get the 50 tests done, and have a coffee and move out with the results? I think. Do you think we're heading for that?
Right. So you're right. The testing has moved to the house. Like the pulse oximeter is a standard part of the first aid kit, what I think. And during the pandemic, there are a lot of these companies, these startups, which have They were there present before, but they have become very popular now. Where there's testing in a bag, suitcase. So there's a suitcase, and you have all the devices inside it, and they conduct the testing. So this is used mainly. What after I interacted with them is used a lot in the corporate side. So a corporate wants to carry out a screening, and then they do it there. But the main use, like what you said, is rural India. Like that is where the medical infrastructure is lacking, and a lot of this testing in a bag, right, or in a suitcase is happening in rural India where they're going in, and it's mainly driven by NGOs. So NGOs are driving healthcare in rural India, and you have these products which are going in and being used in the rural settings where there is lack of infrastructure. So this is coming, and this testing at cafes kind of concept also. I'm sure it'll. It's just a matter of time. Because in the US, already in malls, we have seen testing has started off because people over there don't have time, and the different dynamic starts over there because home collection is not a reality. Right? In India, we still have home collection, but in US, because cost of labor is so high, home collection is not a reality. So they have to, it works out cheaper if they go and do point of care testing or they have testing done in the mall. So in India, still because of home collection being a reality in at least the urban areas, so I don't see it coming as fast, but it is definitely because people are more open to it now. So if you have a testing cafe, people are more open to it, especially I think airports, because like flights are delayed 1 hour, you're just waiting at the airport, and if you have a testing solution and people are just waiting there, they will just get tested. And rural India, definitely, because 70% of our population lives in the rural India, so that's something where this kind of
Yeah, I think
equipment.
that's the great to. What are the emerging now business models and new areas of business as a result of Made in India campaign, and how conventional models will get affected? That's what something I just talked about, like the central lab processing, the referral lab, or the routine lab. So, what are the new emerging business models, and what is going to be, the future as we go forward?
So I'll start with first from the manufacturing point of view. From the manufacturing point of view, we have seen this industry has never been the kind of it must have been post-COVID. I would estimate at least 40 new companies would have started off during COVID into the space, manufacturing companies. So this is excellent for us because we are so much import dependent. 70% of our diagnostics are imported, including the reagents and instruments together. In the reagents, we are importing less, but in the equipments, we are importing a lot. So the lot of import substitution is what I'm seeing coming forward is the new change that is going to happen in terms of if you look at the basic, right, the classic study of PPEs, N95 masks, right, those are not being made in the country. Coming to VTMs, right, VTMs were being imported for the swabs, right, the swab manufacturing wasn't available in India at all. The swab manufacturing started, VTM, we had no requirement for imports. RT-PCR, we have no requirement for imports now, we're self-sufficient in India. So I see that a lot of the labs in India have also seen that when during the COVID pandemic, the supply chain was really affected. Right? So all the countries were competing for the products, the diagnostic products, as it was in shortage. And the companies that were manufacturing in India that were local were able to supply the products in a shorter turnaround time. So that's when the industry understood the importance of having someone local. When you have a stronger service delivery agreement where you can have a shorter turnaround time. So I think that is something new which we're going to see happening. That more and more customers are going to go towards domestic manufacturing companies, be it Indian companies or multinationals who are making in India, because they have realized the importance of having a robust supply chain available. And another big change, as I said, we have seen over 40 companies who have entered the industry, and there's going to be more and more import substitution happening as we see PLI schemes coming in and different kind of schemes to support the industry to move ahead in this. In terms of the lab space, moving to the lab space, there has never been so much excitement in this industry. So if you look at in terms of the investments that have happened, the largest investment happened by PharmEasy at about 66% out of their 4,545 crores. Okay, then that was followed by Dr. Lal acquiring Suburban Diagnostics for 925 crores. At around the same time, High-Tech Laboratories was acquired by Metropolis for 636. Listing happening of Vijay Diagnostics and Krishna Diagnostics. And this is at the level which you hear about it in the media. But when you go down to the grassroots, again, there is a lot of new labs which I have seen start up. Be it the chain labs opening up new labs in satellite cities where there was no service given before, or new labs, just small labs starting off in areas where there were no labs before. So this is again a new change. I'm seeing that there are more labs coming up, especially in tier two, tier three cities, which is very good because these areas were not being serviced before. So very good news from all the fronts. From the manufacturing side, a lot of investments happening due to the PLI scheme. From the services side, again a lot of investments happening from the be it the private equity, be it from the stock market, from the public, or be it from even internal accruals of the organized players. So overall, I think this is very good for the industry. And finally, diagnostics has got its due, where, as we discussed here, only 2% of the healthcare cost, but affecting 70% of the healthcare delivery delivery model. So
Yeah.
it's a very good for all of us and the public
Yeah.
at large.